Thank you all for coming here this evening. I just wanted to say that tonight I had the distinct honor and privilege to administer the oath of office to 3 police officers who were promoted, Sergeant Gangemi and Lieutenant Zdanowitz and Egg. Unfortunately, 4 officers should have been sworn in tonight, but Councilman Flegging ostensibly decided to vote against the chief's promotion, as he claimed that he did not have enough information because he was unable to attend a closed session meeting over 2 weeks before the vote. To add insult to injury, he voted affirmatively to promote the other 3 officers whose promotions were also discussed at the very same closed session meeting. And interestingly enough, Mr. Murphy and staff, who were present at the closed session meeting and presumptively had the information needed to promote a police chief, also voted no on this appointment. When I raised this incongruity at the public meeting, I was accused by Mr. Murphy of being inflammatory. Really? Messrs. Flegging and Murphy were the only council members present who were visibly angry and raising their voices. At one point, Mr. Flegging physically leaned forward on the dais to glare at Councilwoman Schoenberg and yell, "What do you know?" Well, Mr. Flegging, to answer your question, Mrs. Schoenberg actually knows a lot, and clearly, for a new member of the council, exhibit a great deal more intelligence, respect, and decorum than her counterparts. So while I was accused of being political, who was really motivated by their politics? If my only motivations were political, I could have called for another vote tonight on the chief's promotion when I had the votes to get it passed. But that has never been my motivation. So what was the real meaning behind the no vote to promote a chief? You be the judge. A little over a day after last week's meeting, we all awoke to the news that a Pascack Valley commuter train had slammed into the platform at Hoboken, injuring many and killing at least 1. While I was on the phone dealing with what could have been a major catastrophe for this community as the train picked up many people in this town, I was talking to the Pascack Valley mayors, county and state officials, including the governor's office, and emergency services to ascertain the well-being and safety of our Oradell residents and the support services that would be available to them should they be needed. While I was doing this, Mr. Murphy, Flegging, and staff were texting each other. However, they included a 4th person in their group text, apparently in error, because that individual shared the conversation with me. Mr. Staff commented that a few from Oradell were injured, and Mr. Murphy responded, "Was Miss Piggy on that train?" Mr. Staff's response to that inquiry? Unlikely. I can only assume that they were talking about me, as I occasionally take that train into Hoboken. And if it wasn't me, then who was it? Certainly they were not talking about Miss Universe. But then again, it doesn't matter who it was. No woman should be referred to in such a derogatory, dehumanizing manner, and with so little regard for her well-being that they would wish that she were on that train. Talk about inflammatory. A really concerned, humane individual would have said, "I really hope so-and-so was not on that train," not, "Was Miss Piggy on that train?" But there was more that was stated in that text conversation. You heard Mr. Flegging wonder out loud tonight, why do people think he doesn't like women? Well, Mr. Murphy continues, "We need to counter Tracy's BS narrative. God, I just detest her." Mr. Flegging's response, "Me too, Gary. We teach our children not to be bullies, not to call people names, and not to hate. We teach them to stick up for others who are being treated this way and to respect others. While it is okay to disagree with someone, it is never okay to try and degrade, humiliate, or dehumanize them. I naively expected more from Councilman Murphy, Flegging, and staff. Their words are a disgrace to this community and counter to all that the #1 family town in New Jersey represents and deserves from its leaders. Mr. Murphy were here, I would reiterate my response to him when he asked me to apologize last week. I do not owe anybody an apology. In fact, if anyone is owed an apology, it is Captain Wicker, Councilwoman Schoenberg, me, every woman in this room, and everyone in this community. Thank you for being here.